Hey everybody, Laramie here. I just want to talk about this episode really quick, as well as next week's episode. So today's episode, this one shot is about San Diego Comic-Con. Now, of course, that happened several weeks ago. We're just now releasing this episode. And at the time that we recorded it, we had not heard all of the fallout that was happening from the merger with Discovery. We had not yet heard about the Batgirl cancellation and pretty much Discovery just deciding to start pulling things off of HBOMAX. Where this is going, we don't know, but I just wanted to let you know that we were not aware of all of that at the time of the recording. As for next week is our season finale. We're 2 years in, and I realized last year our season finale was a Bloodshot. And I thought, you know what? I think the season finale, it should be end of the season, bottom of the barrel. We should always go with a bottom tier movie, a movie that is really just panned by most audiences. And so next week, you're going to hear Nicholas Pepin from the Pop Culture Roulette podcast. He's going to join me as we talk about Hulk. So you got to check that out. And then we'll get into season 3, and I got a lot of things in store that I'll let you know on Labor Day, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you enjoyed today's show, and have a great week.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to an 80s Flick Flashback podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Do you love movies of a certain age? Do you miss the days of VHS tapes, VCRs, and the video rental stores? Does the thought of another 80s movie being remade seem inconceivable? My name is Tim Williams. I'm the creator and host of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. On each episode, I'm joined by guest co-hosts to discuss one of the many movies released in the 1980s. We share our first-time watch memories, our favorite scenes, and even learn some behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew along the way. New episodes are released every other Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. So make like a tree, get out of here, and go listen to an excellent episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. The ad is over. Go home. Go.
What seems to be the problem, pal?
There's just so much pain in the world, so many issues. I don't think I can bear it.
Well, friendo, it sounds like you could use a dose of Pop Culture Roulette.
Pop Culture Roulette? What's that? Some sort of pop culture themed podcast or something?
That's right, sonny boy. When hope seems far, dive into some PCR.
But I already get my entertainment news from Variety.
Huh, that's pretty good. If you're a chucklehead, PCR gives you news you need, condensed, unfiltered, and raw, from 3 nerds who know a little something about something.
Wow, okay, sign me up.
That's the spirit. Pop Culture Roulette. New episodes every Monday, available on all major podcast directories.
Welcome to this Moving Panels One Shot. Let's have a nerdy little conversation. And today we're going to talk about, we're a few weeks away. This is gonna air quite a bit later after the event has happened, but San Diego Comic-Con closed about a week ago, and again, this is airing a couple more weeks after that. But we're gonna discuss what was discussed and not discussed when it comes to movies and TV shows and just anything related to comic books. We're mainly going to focus on DC because Marvel has been covered by everybody. And so I've got my panel of co-hosts here, Tim, Chad, and Blake. And so let's just go ahead and knock it out. We'll talk about it real quick. MCU phases 4, 5, and a hint of 6. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's cool that it looks like they're giving us some direction finally. I mean,
are they though? I still don't see the connection.
Well, I think they're giving us direction, not connection. That's two different things.
Okay.
So
okay, I get you.
It's not what I said. They're giving us direction in that these are not connected right now. That there are 3 separate things that are going to have 3 separate finales. So which I'm on board with. For one, I know several of us have said this at various points, but Kevin Feige has earned that much at least. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But at the same time, like, props for just not doing the same thing over and over again. Like, they're not just setting up Thanos again to have a resolution again. Like, they're trying something a little bit different. They're going to give us 3 different things happen concurrently that are each going to have their own weight and be important things. So, you know, obviously we'll have to watch the rest of the stuff to see if it's any good or not, but I'm glad they're doing something different. That's what I'll say, I guess.
I will say, so I've caught up enough with the and if the listeners out there have listened at all, you know I'm not the biggest Marvel aficionado, having not watched
never
Avengers
seen the
until
Avengers
2022. But I have caught up enough to kind of get what's going on and I guess what they're maybe aiming for. With Chad, like any extended universe, I always find it odd that there's only one thing going on at a time. So I do kind of like that they're trying to give us different events occurring across the same time period. What I don't get, there's no connection right now. So I watched Eternals finally, and then I've watched...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Oof. Let me tell you, struggled through that one. Multiverse...
By the way, can we talk about why has no movie referred to the fact that there's giant
a head?
dude
Chat,
now, like,
that's
sticking
what I was
out
about
of the
to
earth?
say, Laramie. You've stolen my thunder, just like Garth Brooks when the thunder rolled. Right now, you took it from me. But yeah, nobody talks about that. How are we not bringing that up?
That there's a head and giant hand sticking out of the earth.
hand.
Yeah. So are we just trying to wash Eternals out? But then wait a minute, we're bringing up some of the stuff that's occurring. So I don't know. Jury's still out for me on the Marvel universe. I did like Multiverse of Madness. For those of you who care about my opinion, I thought that was good. John Krasinski, Reed Richards, man, oof, that was a tough way to go. So yeah, that's just my little snippet there.
You know, I saw a Captain Carter Funko Pop today, and I was kind of hoping it would be half off, but it was not.
Jeez,
Too soon.
Bum 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 bum. The Family Guy trombone on you.
You do have to acknowledge with Marvel, at least, we're not getting. This isn't 10 years ago when Comic-Con was the only place to reveal this kind of stuff. They went into the con already saying that they're not revealing very much, that most of it's going to come out at D23.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you kind of had to expect that we were only going to get certain stuff.
All right, so let's just go ahead, because that's not what the focus of this episode's supposed to be.
Do you want to know who they revealed more than?
Yeah. So here's the thing. You just said they went, well, we're not going to reveal an awful lot, and then they reveal like, hey, here's our next 48 movies
And TV shows.
Yeah,
and TV shows, and then they still got D23. Now DC. You know, my beloved DC, I love all comics, but I am a bigger DC guy, as Blake is. And DC, I've honestly been looking. I'm like, are they going to do Fandom this year? Because that's kind of something that is kind of up in the air. You know, it was something they did during the quarantine and all that, and it was, huge hit. And then they did it again last year, and it wasn't as good, but... You know,
still
it
something.
reveals an awful. It still reveals an awful lot.
Because they lied
like,
to you both times.
What?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. The last big news that DC put out was that big thing right before the summer of it's the year of DC, and here's all the movies that are coming out.
That still stinks.
And then delayed 2 of them.
Yeah. And then we're going to delay 2 of them, and and then Ezra Miller does all his junk.
Dude's basically a war criminal at this point in time. Can we all agree on that?
Right. And I wonder if that's the problem. Was their big reveal going to be Flash, and now they're having to backpedal on some things?
Okay, so Flash aside, let's go ahead and get into this. So DC reveals like nothing.
Nothing.
Hey, we got Black Adam and Shazam 2. There you go.
We already knew that.
That's what
we already knew about.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. That's not what we want to know about. We want to know, what's new,
But even
what's coming. But even that, I'm going.
weird.
You also have Aquaman 2. Like, that's
But
coming
do
out
they?
this year. Like, where is Aquaman 2? And so that is the what we're going to discuss is the complete embarrassment that DC was at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. And just, I mean, I'm embarrassed to be a DC fan right now.
I'm beside myself, literally, right now. There's two of me in this room. That's how upset I am about this. Okay, let me tell you something here, Laramie. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Didn't think we were going to say his name on this podcast, did you? Once said,
Nope.
we are part of the universe. We are in the universe, but more importantly, the universe is in us. Now, Neil, I hope that universe is not the DC Extended Universe, because it shouldn't be in, near, or around anybody at this point in time. Okay? As Laramie said, an embarrassment to be a fan of DC, to go to the greatest stage that comics and comic books and comic movies has to offer and give us zilch. You know how I found out that, spoiler alert, Ben Affleck is going to be in Aquaman
That's
2?
what, yeah.
From Instagram.
Biggest news.
Because
Yeah.
they saw him on a back lot during a tour. How do you not announce that? How do you not walk him out on stage during Comic-Con?
Because they wanted it to be a secret, which didn't work.
how do you say that Chris Cavill is coming to Comic-Con and then
Henry Cavill.
I'm really
Chris
mixing names up.
Cavill.
Yeah.
His lesser-known brother.
Marvel's got all the Chris's.
Yeah.
Playing
This
Mark
is-
I
Kent.
was actually
It's
thinking
Chris
about
Cavill.
Chris
Mark.
Claremont, but that's a whole other story. How do you announce that Superman is coming to Comic-Con while
Right.
he's filming another show? Like, you wouldn't just, like... I mean, granted, the dude's probably got plenty of money. He can jump on a plane whenever he wants to. But still, like, it seems like a big deal. And then the day of, he's not here. Like,
and then
Not only was he not here, they asked Dwayne Johnson about Superman,
I was about
and he
to say.
didn't say zilch. He was like, nah, man,
Then-
I don't know anything about
yeah.
that.
I
Then
think
you
he
let
did
The
the best he
Rock pretty
could.
much-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
He was like, go buy one of my T-shirts with a bull on the front of it. That's like all he gave us right there. Like, I don't know what else he's...
I will say this. I understand the frustration of fans, but
Super Pets is coming out.
it was pretty embarrassing
Still got
that
super best. Tim.
the fans booing The Rock off, and
that was
that,
tough.
that
That
was not
was
a good
tough
look.
to watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
tough
not
to
a
watch.
good look
that
at
was
all.
a bit much.
It wasn't good.
So yeah, but that's my thing. So you've got, for just a second, it's an embarrassment you didn't bring anything, but now with the Affleck news leaking, it's an embarrassment. So you've got Keaton, Pattinson, and
Yeah,
Affleck.
3 Batmans.
Okay, so scrap the DCEU, guys. Scrap it. Let every director do their own thing, tell their own stories. It's worked in a couple of instances.
Right.
The lately being the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Just let the directors do their thing, man. Quit
And Wonder Woman
trying to connect
1984.
everything.
I mean,
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Go for it. Let Wonder Woman do her thing wherever.
I almost
but
am at the point to
the-
reboot it. I kind of disagree with you about the Batman, to be honest. But I mean, it's a wreck. Like,
It is.
Yeah. But again, to me, it's still look, you've got a Batgirl movie coming, and there's no mention of that. You're filming a Blue Beetle movie. And there's no mention of
Because
that.
nobody asked for that, Laramie.
No, let me give you the one that nobody asked for. CW is now going to do this weird
don't
Gotham
talk about
Knights
it.
television show.
Stop talking about it.
I mean, you've got Harley Quinn season 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's
exactly.
like, why are we not talking about that? It's Comic-Con.
And you,
Doom
you don't
Patrol,
even promote it.
Yeah, there's plenty
Doom
of things.
Patrol.
Yeah,
you can-
Doom Patrol.
A new season of Titans is coming out.
Which, shout out to Brendan Fraser.
all
real
of your
quick, who's done a
good
career on
products.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 All the stuff that people are actually watching.
just let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Snyder's going to be on the new Teen Titans Go movie and spend 45 minutes on Shazam. Or Black Adam.
I guess we should say, aren't we glad they didn't talk about the Gotham Knights TV show at Comic? It would have been even more embarrassing, right, if they'd have brought that back up again after the reaction the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked anything.
They could have talked
It
about
was
the
not
Gotham
a-
Knights video game for all I cared.
Yeah,
That would
it
have
was
been
not
better.
well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, they've got the Superman Tomorrow comic that's coming out. That there was, I mean, and all you're gonna do, and yeah, that's another thing. DC's promoting the Superman Tomorrow, I guess, event that's coming, and all they're doing is, we need a logo. I still got this Death of Superman logo. Let's just pop that one up. And so they just pop up, and just put Tomorrow next to it. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it is ironic that you're talking about Superman Tomorrow, because that's when I kept waiting on news from DC to come during Comic-Con. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or the next day.
But for the biggest news to be, like you said, social media post about Ben Affleck is going to be in Aquaman 2.
Which, let's get off track here a little bit.
Is he replacing
are we
Amber
excited?
Heard? Is that what's happening?
Yikes. He would look gorgeous as a redhead. Is anyone excited for Affleck coming back? Are any of us okay with that?
It doesn't sway my thoughts one way or the other. Honestly.
Okay. You're indifferent. I think that might
very
be worse than
indifferent.
having an opinion.
But I'm indifferent about Aquaman 2 anyway, so I'm not.
I was indifferent about Aquaman 1, but
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Aquaman 1.
I mean, it's not. They announced George Clooney was coming back as Batman, so
Now that would have been something.
Chad always with the silver lining. I like your positivity, Chad. I really do.
You know, have they announced who's playing Batman in Gotham Knights, though?
Whoever he is, he's dead.
Obviously, he hasn't been born yet because it'll be a
Adam
while before it
West,
comes
is
out.
that who they've got playing him?
So let's see where that one goes.
oh, man.
It's
What
not.
Batman they decide to use.
It's not good. They're not in a good place right now, and they're even in a worse place after Comic-Con, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the whole thing is strange because I mean, obviously, comic book news doesn't really make big time. It doesn't make Entertainment Tonight news kind of stuff like the Hall H panels do. But
Unless it's the death of Superman. That was the
DC
big...
didn't even have anything going on there. I mean, you heard. I guess there's the Spawn Batman crossover coming. There's a couple of things, but just I don't know. It was. You got to wonder what's going on at DC. Has all of this being bought out and changed hands? What? Two times in 3 years?
Too many times. Yeah.
Like, is that just catching up with them? Do they not have anybody who wants to work there anymore? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get bought by Discovery. I'm just, we'll go ahead and throw a little time frame in here. We're smack at the end of Shark Week right now. I mean, why is there no DC-related stuff in Shark Week?
Nice.
I want King Shark in Shark Week.
I mean, it's an easy plug. Come on.
Is there a shark on Super Pets? Maybe that's why.
Tim's really stuck in the soup. For those of you that don't know, Tim sent us all a TikTok the other night.
It was very good.
That is hilarious,
Yeah.
and made a real push for why we should appreciate Super Pets, because that's what we got from Comic-Con.
But here's my thing about Super Pets.
No, we didn't get Super Pets from Comic-Con.
Right.
We got Black Adam and Shazam from Comic-Con. That's what we got.
But even Super Pets has a problem because every promo I've seen for Super Pets doesn't really show much of the movie. It's just telling us, hey, remember how funny Kevin Hart and The Rock were in
The Rock are together,
Central Intelligence? They're going to be in Super Pets. Yeah. But there's nothing that shows me the movie is going to be any good or that it's even going to be as funny as Central Intelligence. So I'm already thinking that the movie's going to bomb.
That commercial came on the other night. My fiance went, "I'll go see that with you." I was like, "Oh God, this is not
a good sign."
Not a good sign.
Is anybody excited about Black Adam though?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am.
It looks decent.
I can't say I'm fully excited, but I'm intrigued because
I'm with Tim.
I'm a Rock fan. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
I will say this. The Rock playing Black Adam, that's great. That's wonderful. It's going to... I'm more curious about Pierce Brosnan playing...
I want to see what they do with Dr. Fate.
Yeah. Now, I was excited with the new trailer. Like, seeing more of the movie got me a little bit more excited, for sure.
But back to Super Pets really quick. So, it came out, and I saw a post... that someone said that Super Pets is a better Justice League movie than Justice League.
Oh, nice. That's hilarious.
I am excited for Keanu Reeves as Batman. I guess that's a cool voice, choice.
Yeah, we just did a Keanu Reeves episode not that long ago, and I did not realize that he actually does a pretty decent. He's a pretty decent Batman.
Bad Batman.
So
so
based off of that,
I guess this is more for Laramie. But if not Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, who are you picking at this point in time, Laramie?
If I knew, it would be the wrong person. I've always stood by and will always stand by Superman always needs to be an unknown.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Christopher Reeve was an unknown.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh was an unknown. Henry Cavill was an unknown.
Yeah.
So, I do not fan cast Superman.
Okay.
Because whoever I fan cast is wrong. It's got to be.
I thought maybe I'd get you to
be an unknown.
slip up one time
Nope.
here and give us one.
Nope.
Okay. Thought I had you impassioned enough with my speech about Neil deGrasse Tyson earlier.
I was gonna go Nicolas Cage, but you know.
Yeah, you can always go back to the Nick Cage.
I
I think he would do it.
There's
I
a
think he
fuzzy
would do
photo
it.
somewhere.
Nick Cage.
There's a
for
whole
sure.
documentary
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
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 And
you can
Kevin
you can
Smith
see
will
him
not
in the
be
suit.
quiet about it. Like he
Never.
talks about it all the time.
Never.
So,
every
yeah.
chance he gets.
If he doesn't
That is-
mention Clerks or Tusk, he's going to mention the Superman movie he almost made.
That is the unbearable weight of massive talent, though. So you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about real quick, and I think we're gonna wrap this up because we're just so disappointed about this.
It's just depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just depressing.
Just
This
like
is a horrible.
This is like the Joss Whedon Justice League cut right now. That's how I feel at this point in time.
wow.
Oh, we've dropped the Joss Whedon name.
Yeah.
It's really bad now.
Yeah, it is. It's awful. Everybody go back and listen to those two, Joss Whedon and then the Zack Snyder cut, and tell us.
No, we want people to be happy,
Yeah.
Blake.
So as we talked
Depends
about
if
at
it's
the very
raining
beginning,
outside.
we were talking about Marvel, and we were talking about their direction and their connections. All right, so clearly DC has no direction whatsoever.
The compass is broken.
But if you are going to hype Shazam and Black Adam and have no mention of a crossover
Yep.
Yeah.
between the two,
Yeah.
None.
what
whatso-
are you doing?
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
I mean, they're the inverse of one another. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
literally.
The yin and yang of each other.
And
Yeah.
all right, so I and you guys can correct me because you're probably more in tune than I am. But originally, you usually are, except for Blake. But usually,
Avengers still getting me. It's the Avengers thing, isn't it?
it is. Glad you caught on. But originally, the Black Adam project was going to be somewhat of a sequel to Shazam, with Shazam a part of the story. It seems that when The Rock became involved, he wanted the whole movie for himself.
The Rock's always been involved, though.
Right.
Yeah, he was pushing
Well,
it
I'm
from
saying,
the beginning.
But I mean, the
Yeah.
more it became a reality, the more Shazam got pushed out of the story and to become its own separate movie. So, that's
I
my
would
question.
say that happened after the release of the first movie because it may have been since The Rock, was he producer, he's
Yeah.
so he sees the first Shazam movie and goes, "That's a little too kiddish and
comedy,
cartoonish."
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a comedy, yeah, for sure.
But no, I do remember hearing that.
I agree
too.
with
I remember
Laramie.
hearing he was supposed to be part of it. Go ahead, Chad.
I think The Rock wanted to make a darker story.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's what he got to do. So hopefully he's telling a good story. I mean, but to Laramie's point, why not at least hint at these two movies are setting something up? Sure. Like,
Yeah.
there's just nothing at all.
Because honestly, if they are looking for a way to reboot in any way, I know, we've still got Gal Gadot, we still got Momoa, and apparently we still got Affleck, who are kind of in a limbo
Wait a minute.
right now.
Are you saying the Snyderverse is coming back, Laramie?
no?
Hashtag
I
restore
don't.
the Snyderverse?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, yeah, that ship has sailed. I was on board that ship for a while, but that ship has sailed.
I'm glad you didn't sync with it.
No, it's gone bye.
In sync?
Yeah, there you go.
Don't do the chorus.
If you're going to reboot a universe, what's the best way to do it than with Shazam and Black Adam? You're already starting to build in this Black Adam movie by introducing this variant version of the Justice Society. You've got this group in the Shazam with the Shazam family. You've never connected those to any. I mean, they loosely did in the first Shazam movie, but not
loosely.
officially.
Right.
Not officially. So nothing is officially connected to the original DCEU. And I know a lot of people have talked about with the Flash movie could potentially
Right.
open the multiverse and do the Flashpoint, maybe reset some stuff and whatnot. I'm with Chad. Like, why not go ahead and show us something? Like, give us something. Like, if you're going to put so much behind this Shazam 2 and Black Adam movie that they're the only things you're willing to talk about at Comic-Con, then give us something.
Yeah.
Give us a nibble.
So
You know?
this is obviously purely conjecture, but so is this fallout from the Ezra Miller stuff? Because
That's what I think it is.
And I say that because obviously The Flash was the movie they wanted to talk about about 6 months ago. So
your centerpiece.
you know, it was, and I think that is going, or was going to be the connective tissue to the rest of it. So, I mean, I kind of feel like they were going to try for a movie New 52 kind of deal, using the Flash movie and reboot from there. So has that been submarined by this whole controversy with the actor enough that they're having to completely shut everything down? They're not talking about that. That's not the centerpiece at Comic-Con. Is it no longer the centerpiece of what they're going to do thematically moving forward? And what we just saw was the utter just failure of being able to resurrect this in time. Is that what we're witnessing in real time?
I think so.
I think it is. Yeah.
I think that and Amber Heard with Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
I think
That's why
those
you
two
didn't
things
see
hurt
anything.
them
Yeah.
the last couple of months. So they kind of lost what they were planning to put at the forefront. And so they had to just, well, this is what we got. So here's what we're going to show you.
Yeah.
And kind of just had to, show us the cards they had.
Yeah.
Because they had to hide the cards
Yeah.
we didn't want
I-
to see again.
Yeah.
And I'm totally in agreement with all of that. I just think that, okay, I get it. Amber Heard has been bad taste. Ezra Miller, you don't want to have Ezra Miller connected with you at all, but you've already
Personally or
you've already
professionally.
made this.
Right.
Yeah, you've already made this epic movie that you've got to figure out how to release, but you've got to,
Do it very
get
carefully.
enough.
Is it
I-
going
yeah,
to
get
get
enough
released?
space between.
I
think it
I
is.
just read.
Even-
I just read an article where an executive stated it's still getting released in theaters. They're not doing a streaming release. Like, they are going to send this to theaters.
I think that might change between now and then, but yeah, especially when you've got. I mean, it's so conflicting because you've got the hype about the return of Michael Keaton as Batman.
Which has been overshadowed, I'd argue, at this
Oh
point
yeah,
in time.
100%.
Yeah.
Which, if marketing is smart, that's what they're going to push.
Yeah,
They're
going to
push Keaton in that marketing campaign.
Well, and I also think they need to push him, and might even need to do some reshoots at not for the Flash movie. I'm actually leaning towards the Batgirl movie
Making a bigger
because
part.
he's going to be in it too.
Yeah.
And so maybe hype that up a little bit more to put a lot more focus on Michael Keaton as Batman. Because even the push they had behind, I don't know the actress's name that is going to be playing Supergirl in the Flash movie. And there was the big push right before the Discovery merger about how she would be the focus of kind of the reboot in the new universe, that she would kind of be the new Superman. Maybe get some more focus on that. I know Discovery's come back in and said, no, it's going to be a Superman. We're going to do a super, but I still think, hey, we've got a Supergirl, and from what I've heard, she's a good Supergirl. So let's focus on that. And I'm going to say it. I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I don't care if it's Grant Gustin. Do something in the movie that changes the Flash into another actor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do something that gives us a new Barry Allen.
You've got an
Or
opportunity
kill
to fix
Barry
it.
Allen and kill Barry Allen and give us Wally West.
Right there with
All
you.
very doable. So, flip side of that, is DC approaching this all wrong? Like, is it just inherently dangerous to go with your key
Yes.
characters, though? I mean, we can compare Marvel and DC and the way they've done things differently to death, but it seems like Marvel has had the most success with its least known properties that it took to market. Guardians of the Galaxy was not a household name before they made that movie. So is DC just mining the wrong properties? Are they sitting there going, every time we bring Batman to the screen, it makes money, so we got to get him out again? I mean, at a certain point, you've just beaten all your best characters to death. Why aren't they looking at something fresh? You have other people. Tell a different story. I think that's partly why the Joker movie did well.
Doing it right. Because, but like I just got finished saying too, you got the Batgirl movie, you got Blue Beetle movie coming out. I mean, we mentioned Doom Patrol. I mean, I know we're talking to a television show here, but yeah, Doom Patrol is one of their most successful series going right now. So I think
they're not marqueeing it at all, though. Like,
that's what I'm saying is they are mining that smaller, that second level, third level. But characters, they're just not.
They're mining
Peacemaker.
They're mining.
Peacemaker. Love of God, Peacemaker.
They're mining.
Not even a DC character to begin with.
They're mining with a pickaxe instead of dynamite, though. Unless you have HBO Max, like you don't even know these shows really exist or how many seasons there are or
that
who
hasn't
the
stopped.
characters there
That
are.
hasn't stopped Marvel.
Yeah,
with Disney
but Marvel's done it with Disney Plus. Yeah,
but it's
Marvel's done that same thing with Disney Plus.
Disney. People are purchasing Disney Plus for Frozen, and then they're getting to see these other shows. There's a built-in audience with Disney Plus already.
Yeah, but you can make the same argument with HBO Max. I mean,
what is HBO Max? What kind of brand name is HBO Max that is the same as Disney? That they've already marketed. Disney comes in with a built-in back catalog, and subscribers are tuning in for Disney movies, and then they're getting to see, there are these other shows. Nobody's tuning into HBO Max at this point in time for the Sopranos anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll give you that Disney is more widespread, but HBO Max does have, they've got the adult audience.
Oh, they've got great shows. I'm not arguing that, yeah.
And again, let's think about what we're talking. Doom Patrol, Peacemaker, the Harley Quinn animated series. Those aren't intended for kids. Those are adult shows.
My children are watching it right now.
My 5-year-old's watching Harley Quinn right now.
Didn't we say don't let me babysit your children? We'd be watching those shows. I think we said that at one point in time. But no, and I get that it's geared more towards adults. I'm saying that adults aren't subscribing. Like when you look at HBO Max is losing subscribers over the last year. So unless you're part of HBO Max, you don't know these shows are existing. Like you don't, again, how many seasons there are, or who the characters are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, and I still agree it's marketing.
Yeah, I think we can agree.
It's placement too, though. People are worried about like when are they going to correct, and bring our favorite characters back to the screen. I go back to the Guardians of the Galaxy analogy, though. Like, where's that movie? Where are they showcasing?
It's the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It's even the same maker. Squad. That's kind of funny, but
right.
Well, then do it better. DC. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Marvel's doing more with a talking tree than DC's doing with Superman. I think that's what this boils down to right now. Like you're not marketing anything.
You've got the I Am Groot actually.
You're not marketing
series
anything.
Coming.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. Let's put a cap on this. DC, you got to do better. Warner Brothers, Discovery, whoever, Time Warner, AOL, whoever owns you,
all of you,
right? Yeah, it's the don't care extended universe right now, is what it is. Because I don't care about it at this point.
Wow, there you go.
Hot take.
Don't care extended universe. Yeah, DC, you got to do better. You got some diehard DC fans here who are just upset right now. I'm saying, fix it with fandom. Give us fandom. Give us a fandom in which you give us some details of some stuff. At least give us an idea of where you're headed, because I think that's what DC fans want to know. They just want to know you're coming up with a plan. We may not see it starting to form for another couple of years, but hey, Kevin Feige's showing us what movies are coming out 3 years from now. Mm-hmm. So
call in Bob the Builder; he can fix it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my last one. I'm sorry.
That was. Where is that one?
Sorry, I'm all over the place.
All right. Well, thanks guys for joining me, and thanks everybody for listening. DC, do better. But everybody, you can't do any better than listening to this podcast. Listen to all of our other fellow podcasts, and that includes Tim with the 80s Flick Flashback. He's got some great episodes there, and I think even Chad might be joining him pretty soon. The way it kind of sounds, so you might get Chad over there. But rate and review the show. Give us those 5 stars. Tell a friend, and at least say, hey, look, if they're not getting any DC news from San Diego Comic-Con, they can get it from Moving Panels. But for today, for Moving Panels, I'm Laramie Wells, and I'll see you on the other side of the page. So we'll do the DC at Comic-Con, and then Blake, if you want to step out. I don't know if you want to hang around for the mutant one or not.
I mean, I don't mind hanging out. I like to just listen to y'all mostly. So I mean, if that's get a sneak preview of the episode.
We have our guests, and then we have our solo audience member, Blake, for the second episode.
I'm just gonna really quietly listen to you guys.
Just chewing while.
You hear someone snickering in the background.
It's an ASMR.
Just got a bag of popcorn.
Yeah, like,
I've got an ASMR video happening in the background.